Hi, I'm Allison. I'm a reading specialist and I help parents of kids who are struggling with reading. In this video, I'm going to explain why just searching for worksheets or finding apps for your child to play is not enough to really help fix a reading problem if your child is struggling with reading. Before we dive in, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, make sure to do that now, and then also hit the little bell so that you're notified every time I post a new video about helping your child with their reading. Okay, so first of all, I do want to say that worksheets and apps are not necessarily bad. They really can be good tools for helping your child learn to read. But the problem is that obviously apps and worksheets are not human, okay? And so because of that, they have some major areas where you as the parent need to fill in and provide for your child. So one big issue is that apps or worksheets, again, because they're not human, they're not going to know exactly which skills your child needs to focus on. Now, if your child is practicing skills with apps or worksheets that are either way too hard or way too easy, that can result in frustration. It can also result in your child just wasting time. And if your child has been struggling with reading and they're behind their peers, they're behind their classmates, you really don't have time to waste, right? The other kids in the class are moving forward, but if your child isn't moving forward, then there's this gap. And what we want to do is we want to close the gap. And wasting time practicing skills that are way too hard or way too easy, it's not going to close the gap, okay? Now, some apps do have tests that will place your child and say, oh, they need to work on these skills, and that can be helpful, but tests are imperfect, right? Maybe your child had a bad day. Maybe they got confused when they were taking it. Or maybe they just guessed at a lot of the answers and so they got the answers correct even though they don't know those skills. So again, apps just have limitations even if they have some sort of placement test, okay? So that's one area of difficulty with just relying on worksheets and apps. Another challenge is that an app or a worksheet, they can't coach your child, right? Because they're not human. What your child really needs from you is coaching. So I want you to think about, and maybe your child plays sports, maybe they don't, but think about an area where your child has a coach. So it could be like a baseball coach or a dance coach. And the role of that coach is to say things to your child, to do a little bit of teaching, right? Show them how it's done. And the role of a coach is to guide someone. So that's exactly what your child needs when they're reading. They need prompting from you. They need for you to know what to say to them and how to guide them, how to challenge them a little bit, but not too much, right? They need that human touch, that coaching, right? And so, of course, to think about an opposite scenario, if your child went to school and there were just worksheets on the tables or maybe they sat down at a computer and they were just playing apps or doing, computer things, you would be not happy, right? You want the child's teacher there to coach them. And so you as their parent, as you're practicing reading with them, you need to do the same thing. You need to know how to coach them, right? The right things to say to them and how to support them. And by the way, if you feel like, oh my gosh, I don't know how to coach my child, I don't know what things to say, no worries, I got you covered. We help lots of parents learn how to coach their kids. It doesn't take very long, honestly, to learn. It just takes having the right information. So check the caption for this video on how you can work with us in our Rising Readers program. We teach parents to do this all the time, and it's actually a lot easier than you would think. So anyway, we've talked, or I've shared some reasons about, why worksheets and apps aren't going to solve the problem, why they're just not enough. And some of this might seem obvious, but I want you to check in with yourself and ask yourself, am I just buying this, these workbooks and thinking that that's going to fix the problem? Because if you are, I want to commend you for wanting to help your child, but I also want to make sure that you really have the tools and knowledge that you need to make a big difference. Because again, apps and worksheets, they're limited. So with that in mind, what is going to give you the best results in helping your child move forward with their reading is number one, understanding the exact skills that your child needs to work on. Reading is made up of a bunch of smaller skills, right? It's not like one day a child opens the book and boom, they can read. For most kids anyway. So there are smaller skills like phonics, phonemic awareness, comprehension that go into learning to read. And so you need to understand where your child is at with learning those skills so that you can give them activities on the skills that are right for them. The second piece of it, and we've talked about this already, but you need to know how to act as a coach. Just like kids have a sports coach, they need a reading coach, and that can be you. And it doesn't take that much to learn, but when you can guide them and support them and challenge them a little bit, but not too much, then what you get rid of is this like battle, you feeling, nervous when you're working with them or them shutting down and crying. You know how to handle that, right? You know how to get them to practice in a way that really works. So that's the transformation you experience when you know how to coach your child. Let me know in the comments right now if this is making sense to you. You can just say yes. So if helping your child catch up with their reading is something that's important to you and something that you want to do, you have got to sign up for my free mini course, okay? I'll include a link for it in the caption for this video, totally free. It's called How to Get Your Child to Practice Reading Without the Tears and Frustration, and it will help you learn to work with your child so that they can become a confident, fluent reader. It honestly just makes practice sessions so much easier and so much less stressful on you too. Okay, so again, check the caption for that free mini course so you can get signed up and grab it. And that's all I got for you today. So thanks so much for watching. I hope that it was helpful. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and I will see you in my next video.